Marvin Thomas, congratulations to you and Triunity, your company, for winning the 2020 WTS Diversity Leadership Award.
Thank you. For the company, I just thank WTS Colorado for this award. It means quite a bit to us. Thank you.
Just to give everyone an idea about the history of Triunity, let's back up a bit. Tell me about a memory from your childhood.
The big thing I could say about our childhood, just remembering, was that I'm one of 7 kids. My co-owner, Johnny, who's also my brother, the thing we learned growing up in a family that large is that it required a lot of teamwork. Everybody had a job, and it required us all to kind of work together. I can remember coming home in the evenings and there'd be a calendar. It'd have your initial on it. And that meant that day what your chore was, who washed dishes, who swept the floor, who cleaned the bathroom. And that's how we were kind of all raised. Everybody always had a job.
You started this company with your brother Johnny. What values did your parents instill on you and Johnny?
A couple of things. One of the bigger values I'd say is obviously work ethic. And then the second one was education. My parents were both sharecroppers from a cotton plantation in Mississippi. My dad only got a 9th grade education. My mom only got a 6th grade education. The high school for black folks was over 20 miles away, and there was no bus to get there. So my dad would always say, when you go to college, now I'm 3rd from the bottom out of 7 kids. He never said, how are you going to pay for it? He would just always say all the way through high school, when you go to college, when you go to college. So it's kind of drilled in us that we were all going to go to college.
How did Triunity come to be?
Johnny and I came at this from 2 different paths. I'd always had the idea that I wanted to have a business, didn't ever know what it would be. My background is actually out of the military. I was an officer in the Air Force developing weapons systems, and Johnny was the hardcore technical engineer. By the time I'd gotten out of the military, I'd gone through high-tech sales, systems engineering, program management, HR. I'd had all the other side of business. Johnny had the skill sets for the hardcore technical part. While I was doing a defense consulting job in Southern California, I told Johnny, why don't we give this a shot? We got 3 months. If not, we can go back and get decent jobs working for other people. That was December 2003. January, he'd found a job. He'd found a consulting gig in February. I'd found one. I said, okay, let's sit down and figure out what we're going to do with the rest of this.
What makes Triunity a leader in diversity in the transportation field?
I think part of it is just that how we kind of do things. We do public infrastructure, which means our money comes from the tax bases in the areas that we live. I think we have a responsibility to make sure that our company looks like the communities we serve. Most of them are going to be in urban areas, which means it's heavy people of color, and women, and we want to make sure that we built a company that looks like the people we serve. They're the ones who provide us our income and our livelihood, so we want to make sure we look like those communities.
In your opinion, what is the best part about WTS Colorado?
Man, there's so many wonderful things. I think the thing that I love the most, though, is going to the board meetings, because you see the diverse range of folks at the board meetings, men and women, people of color, all there at that meeting. I think the other thing I learned about, I'm involved in a lot of professional associations. I'm incredibly impressed with how well they take care of business. This is the 4th WTS chapter I've been a part of. I've done it back in Boston. I've done it in Washington State. I've done it in each and every location I've been in. They're probably about the most efficient and effective organization as far as how they operate and how they get things done. So that part's impressed me the most, and the part I like the most about it.
What advice would you give to someone starting out in the transportation business?
And this is probably a lot easier for me to do since I didn't come from transportation. That's not my whole background. But what I have learned is that the transportation space is a small space. What I would recommend is pick a mode, pick whether it's rail, whether it's aviation, whether it's highways, but pick one of those modes and learn it very, very, very well. It turns out to be a small community. I have the benefit of flying all around the country, and because of those being in that space of primarily in the rails, that's what we started in, I've known these people now since the whole time I've started in the business, so that really makes it easier when you're out not only looking for jobs, but also looking for business. That I've known these people for over 17 years, and it turns out to be a small community.
Who inspires you?
That's a long list. Uh, One of the things that keeps me going every day is the people that I work with. And it's not just the work we're doing on. I consider transportation systems a great equalizer, because you can go to one spot and you'll find everybody from, by the time you get on the train and by the time you get off of it, you've gone through high dollar communities with the guy coming in with the leather briefcase and the suit. But you also find the workers who are working out in the suburbs with their grocery bags of carry-home food. You'll also see the hospital workers when you go through the hospital zone who are all there. So it's a great equalizer. It's made it for everybody. And that kind of inspires me, just the people I see working on every day. I think the other ones that inspire me are some of the folks that I work with. And again, it's not the work that they do, it's the other things that they're involved in. We sponsor Tennyson here locally, and just to watch our employees and how engaged they are and how much they do for that organization, that inspires me a lot to make sure that I do right by them, my role within the company, make sure I do right by them, because they're inspiring me by what they do for the community and the impact that they're having.
Again, Marvin, congratulations to you and Triunity for winning the WTS 2020 Diversity Leadership Award. We thank you for all that Triunity does for WTS.
Thank you. We appreciate you all.
Thank you, WTS, for all you do.